I'm on my phone, man. I can't get my doggone laptop to work. Is this okay?
Sure. Of course it's okay.
Okay, good, good, good.
It's okay that you're on my phone. You're on my laptop screen. Yes, it's absolutely okay.
Right on, right on. Well, this works. Let me just close this door right quick, my friend.
Okay.
All righty. Well, I am here with the incredible Titus, drum roll, Kiplinger.
How are you doing?
I'm great, my friend. I am doing
You did
awesome.
a phenomenal job this morning.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
I could gush on and on about how phenomenal, incredible, awesome it was, and how impactful it was, and how people's lives were touched that heard you speak today.
Thank you, my friend. But don't gush on and on, but I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank
So anyway, how's life for Frank these days?
Well, life is pretty darn spectacular, man. I tell you, I was a stickler for just having a business that was regional, being able to be eyeball to eyeball with people, and I thought that was the destiny of what my business would be. But it turned out that I am. COVID made me go outside of my comfort zone, and through the wonders of LinkedIn and Zoom and all those things, I've met so many incredible people that I'll never have the opportunity to touch flesh with,
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
You know, one of the things that I noticed for myself, because like you, I would go get coffee with people and I'd drive 30 minutes to go, or 20 minutes to go get coffee, spend an hour with them and drive another 30 minutes wherever.
Yeah.
And by doing it this way, I've just been able to, I'm like, boom, I can be in front of you and talking to you in 5 minutes.
I know, right? It is so amazing, man. And I don't know why I was so resistant. Oh, you know what? I got my laptop up.
Oh, and now you sound better than I do.
Oh my, I'm sorry. What can I say, brother?
It feels good to laugh. Doesn't it feel good to laugh?
It does. I don't know what I do without laughter, my friend. That's for sure.
Yes, I think so many times we take life way too serious.
We do. That's why I was trying to get the point across today. It's just business. It's not personal. So you really, really, really have to distinguish what's going on there so that you don't internalize these bumps along the way, because you'll just totally ruin your life.
I spent many, 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 many years taking it very personal.
Yeah. It's not a good space, because if you get with someone that can guide you through that process, one of their responsibilities is to make sure that you know what you're going through is just simply part of the process of growing.
Yeah. Yeah, because it handcuffed me for many, many years, being way too concerned about what other people think of me.
I know. And the thing is, it's so funny, Titus, because I don't worry about what people think of me, because typically they aren't.
Oh.
They're too busy thinking about them, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about me. Yeah. It's all about me.
Exactly. And that's why you and I are in the spaces that we're in right now, because we know people won't glow well when it's all about them.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really about him.
Amen. That's always the bottom line, But you and I reach people that unfortunately don't see that very important part of what life is supposed to be about. So people like you, I see you out in the community glowing all the time. Glow is such a good word for you. God must have gave that to you, brother, because you are doing that in the community. You really are.
Well, that's a very nice compliment, and he did give it to me. Do you want to hear the quick story about him giving me the story of, or the word glow, the name glow?
I do.
So you were a part of the first workshop. Well, I was initially going to partner with somebody and do the workshop with this person and put it together. Well, I very, very quickly realized that it wasn't going to necessarily work out. So I just moved ahead by myself. And I was thinking of the name. I was like, okay, what's this name of this going to be? And I thought of a couple names. And I did my prayer before COVID hit. I did my prayer and meditations at the gym when I was in the hot tub. And so this day I started thinking of the names of Glow Now. And as soon as I put my foot in the hot tub, just like that, God put it on my heart, Glow. And I said, you can't argue. Can't argue.
Wow. That's a great story. That's a great story.
Yeah.
Well, and all of us that know you know that that's certainly the foundational point from which your life moves forward in. So thank you for being who you are, brother.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And I appreciate you walking by my side and the things that we do in Colorado Springs. So tell us a little bit about what you do, or tell us whatever you want to talk about, Frank. This is your show, buddy.
Well, as most people know, I'm a business coach, empowerment coach, but at the bottom of that is an encourager. So people have a very difficult time going through any walk of life without hope. When things don't look hopeful, they draw back from that. They spend so much of their limited energy trying to figure out stuff, right? Because they can't see a hope on the horizon. So for me, infusing encouragement into people creates hopefulness in them. And when you're hopeful, you can do absolutely anything, right? So if you can put hope into any circumstance, I put it in a business perspective, but I put it in life as well. So we call it the hope quotient, and creating a hope quotient in your life so you can actually see a way forward.
Wow. That's awesome. Do you have a breakout of HOPE as an acronym? Have you thought of that?
No. Because so many, to be honest with you, Titus, so many people do that with the words that are showing up for them in their business and the foundation, that I thought I wouldn't add another acronym.
Fair
I'm
enough.
just being perfectly honest.
Fair enough.
Hope means hope all day long, doesn't it?
Yep, that's right. There you go.
Yeah. And when you say the word, people know what you're talking about, because they know when they're not hopeful.
Yeah. You know, you did 1 Million Cups today, and I was able to attend that, and I was pleasantly surprised when you got on stage. And one of the things that you said today that really touched me and impacted me was, you don't have room for the negative. You don't have room for the fear, right? Because you're over here doing Frank. And Frank doesn't do fear and worry and all that stuff. You don't have room for the negative because you're so full of positive.
Yes. But we don't just wake up that way, because our default is negative. So it requires a lot of work for a human being to show up positive. As you know, it really does. So I've done the work, and unless people want to do the work of creating that space, this man said a long time ago, I read his book, I didn't meet him in person. He says, what's the greatest thing you can do as a leader? but those that you influence and that you're around during the day. And I thought some wonderful phrase was going to come out, waiting for this nugget of leadership, wisdom, and he said, be encouraged. I said, what? Then he went on to explain. He says, you know what? He's a pastor of a very large church in California. No one's ever walked up to me and said, you know what? I'm so encouraged by my marriage, I'm divorcing.
Right.
Right? Or I'm so encouraged by my job that I'm quitting. Or I'm so encouraged by school that I'm dropping out. So find a way before you leave your home to encourage yourself and infuse encouragement into yourself so that you can show up in a community encouraged and encouraging others.
Yes. Let your cup runneth over.
Yes, it does run over. It's unbelievable to me. A lot of people go, oh my, I'm not moving fast enough. I'm not getting to where my ultimate goal is. And those things may or may not be true, but they're besides the point. The point is, are you moving? Right? Are you moving? And once you don't take time to celebrate movement, you'll always be in the midst of cynicism because your expectations are over here and your realities over here. And because those two things are so far apart, in between them, anxiety is created. And it's impossible to show up as your full self in the midst of anxiety.
Frank Sinclair dropping wisdom. Oh my goodness.
You agree?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we were talking earlier about people taking things personal, right? The other thing that I used to do was I was looking in the future so far and having reality way out there and all this stuff. And I was frustrated with myself. I'm like, why aren't I over there? And learning to live present was such a present gift.
Isn't that the truth? I'm glad to be alive today. I'm 64 years old, and I'm not saying I'm at the end of my journey but I'm not promised tomorrow. I'm not going to live in tomorrow, right? I can't live in tomorrow if it's not here. So I'm going to live in today. I'm going to be the very best Frank Sinclair I can be today. And hopefully that impacts someone in a very positive way. It helps them to move forward and look at things a little bit differently.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Show up in the morning, turn yourself on, show up, say yes. That's another thing that you said, I think it was you that were talking about, I don't know how you got on the stage or whatever, but you said yes, right? You showed up and you said yes. I'll speak today at 1 Million Cups. You said yes.
Yeah. Well, yesterday someone called me and they said, you know what, the person that's supposed to speak at 1 Million Cups today is sick. So I was scheduled for November already. They said, we know you're always ready. You've been in 1 Million Cups for several years. And they said, would you step in and speak? I said, sure. Absolutely. There's an opportunity. There's someone, out of the blue. I'm like just eating dinner with my wife, and someone calls and says, can you speak tomorrow at 1 Million Cups?
Wow.
I said, sure, I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah. And because what do? We try and make an impact in the world. We're willing to do it one person at a time, right? But anytime that we have an opportunity to hit a group of 50, 60 people in one shot, sign me up.
That's right. I'm there all day long. And I'm not asking where the check is. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm just taking it in the flow. I've done hundreds of talks for no money and stuff. And that's where people don't realize the value, because they create no brand for themselves whatsoever, because they think they're going to get a certificate of something and then hang a shingle, and everyone's going to run to their door and says, would you come speak to our 1,000 employees? I have no idea who you are. I know you're certified in something. I know you got a few letters behind your name. And you know what? Nobody cares about that, Titus. We're in a time and space on earth where people don't want to be informed. They want to be inspired. That's what makes business move. And that's why story is so important, because nothing can inspire another human being like your journey. And when you're ready to authentically share that, oh my word, you got the ears of the world awaiting you. Yes.
You know, you said today that you've gone international. So congratulations to you for going international.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. It caused me to think of the relationships that I've built in Pakistan and Uganda and different places around the world. And all I need to do is say, hey, let's jump on a call, put some people in front of me, let's have a conversation.
I know, right? And people are all the time, you know, because I have such I think, a really active and amazing social media presence. I had, and I don't say this to brag, I'm just saying this as a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, no, a month ago, I posted something that had nearly 300,000 views on LinkedIn. You know, so people say, wow, that's cool. What does that mean? Well, that means that 300,000 people around the world took a moment to read what you wrote. And on the other side of that, people start writing you. Oh, Frank, have you thought about this? Have you written a book yet? Are you doing something? What's the plans on your future? And they begin to engage you, because numbers to people mean credibility. You know, people like poo-poo that and say, well, it's not about the numbers for me. Well, I don't care what it's about for you. At the end of the day, when you can show up to more people, you get an opportunity to impact more people. It's as simple as that. Only the heart motive can determine whether you're some arrogant so-and-so. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if you're an arrogant so-and-so, you're going to be that before 2 people or 2,000 people or 200,000 people. So that's the heart condition. It has nothing to do with the numbers of people that we reach.
Right. Yep. We'll do it like I said, we'll do it one-on-one. And if we get more than that, we'll gladly say yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you say yes? Look at you heading to Atlanta to speak with the all amazing and crazy Les Brown. You know what I mean? The known name around the world of work he's done, stuff I read. He inspires me as well. But at the end of the day, you're not going to Atlanta so you can become the next Les Brown. You're going to Atlanta so you can become the best Titus Kiplinger. And
touch somebody's life.
Exactly right. Well, when you're at your best, the byproduct of that will be you're touching people's lives.
Show up.
Show up, baby.
Show up.
Yes. Right.
Show up.
We are always touching people's lives when we show up the best that we can. There's no way around it, because that means your energy, all the energy that God's giving you to create and be, is being channeled or used for the purpose he created it for. Isn't that awesome? Right. Otherwise, that's why people hate their jobs, because they put one foot out of bed after another during the day, and they know deeply in their hearts that they're not getting out of bed to do what they were created to do.
Purpose.
Yeah. So it's energy sapping. But I do advise young people this: the best position you can be in, if you have a good job and you're thinking about entrepreneurship, you keep that good job and let it fund your dream. And then start in the small processes of your dreams that it starts to uncover, so that you can jettison that job and go and do what you were put on earth to do.
Man, that, Jim Rohn used to say the same thing. Work on your day job until your night job, until your dream of purpose and passion at night.
Exactly. Yeah. And a lot of people want to just jettison their job, making really good money, great security, and then they put so much pressure on themselves that all of their energy is expended trying to just live. It's hard to live, right?
Yeah.
And when all of your energy is expended into that space, how much energy do you have left for the very hard job of building a new business?
I hear you.
It makes no sense. Yeah, it makes no sense. So that's why we need guides in our life, you know. I know it feels like I'm pumping up myself as a coach and the coaches around me and the people that do that work. But if you think about every movie that's ever been made, I mean, everyone, name one that isn't. There's a hero. There's a problem to be solved. He don't know how to do it. He goes to get a guide. That's the storyline. That's what Donna Miller says in Story Brand. Right?
I'm going to read this to you here. I was in the middle of the night. Let me tell you, last night was a dramatic evening, night for me. And it was very high highs in my sleep and very low lows, where I dealt with fear, but I dealt and I had the victories. And I was awake for a part of this at night, last night, and it talks about the prophet, right? I was on the internet, the web, and I did money Bible verses. And it talks about, yes, exactly, right? And it talks about the prophet getting paid. I'm looking for it. It says here, this is in Micah 3:11, King James. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord. Is not the Lord among us, and no evil can come upon us. So,
amen.
We have gifts and talents, right? And so many times those gifts and talents are buried underneath all the crap, the emotional crap, the financial crap, all that stuff, right? Our childhood, the things that society puts upon us, right? And they just bury us. Like you said, we're born perfect, and then we're programmed to fail.
Yes, we are, and we do it well. We fail well. I am the poster child of failure. You know what I mean? I really am. I failed in every conceivable way that a human can fail, you know, and I have. But a lot of times that's failing forward. I call it leveraging your pain. And it's very simple. You know, we put a lot of things on us. We know the Bible says that the devil meant it for evil, but God turns it to the good, even when we do things that are really jacked up. So, for instance, being homeless in the park created a space for me to, the last, I think, 14 years now, mentor people in the homeless situation, mentor men at the Springs Rescue Mission who are going through addiction and homelessness and all those things, and et cetera. He brings you out so that you can serve somebody. That's why you get the experiences that you get in life, for the service. And we're always worried about how am I going to make money and all those things. If you serve, you can't outgive God. So if you take the experiences he's given you along the way, don't you think that he's going to take care of your needs and all of the things that you need? We say that with our mouths, but we don't believe it in our hearts. Yeah. And we really have to get it at a heart level. We're gonna be taken care of. I think people don't even believe in the Lord, but their giftedness. I don't like gifts, not that because the Bible talks about gifts, so I know they're real. But there's a difference between giftedness and the gifts, because a lot of times you're bestowed with gifts that you do stuff well, and they become a distraction and a diversion, because they're really not what you were designed. Every good thing that you can do in life doesn't mean that you were designed to do it. You know, that would be chaotic. It really would, because I do a lot of things good, you know, but there's a giftedness in me, which means when the design if there's a Webster dictionary, and if you could see the way God was molding me, the experiences that I was going through in life, doing that molding and forming, you would see my picture underneath God doing that in these very experiences that I've had. That's what uncovered the giftedness of me, a way of doing life, where I show up the best. And I have a lot of gifts. Some of them I'll probably never even use, or they be any help to people, but we have to find our foundational giftedness as a human being to find out what we were put on earth to do.
Wow. Yeah, the thing that comes to my mind is the test and the testimony. You got to go through the test to have the testimony. And look at how many people you've been able to touch and relate to. Because of all the things that you've gone through in life, you can now be sympathetic, empathetic, compassionate, graceful, all that stuff.
Yes. Yeah, my wife tells me, she told me, and this is probably one of the greatest compliments I've ever had. She says, no one embodies the word grace like you do, Frank. And it's because you've been so jacked up. Right? Without that word, man, as a formation of Frank, I couldn't survive, because I'd be stuck in all the things I've done wrong, right? And all the stuff that I've messed up.
She put that in there like a punchline. Because you're so jacked up.
Nobody can tell you like your wife can, man. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. She set you up and laid you down.
Yeah, and she was exactly right. It is true. She loves me and she wants the best for my life, and sometimes that means telling it like it is, because after the sun goes down and I'm not across the table on a one-on-one with someone, or I'm not doing those kind of things, I go home, I'm tired. This is just truth. I don't have much left because I've given out so much during the course of the day. Then she has to live with me. Yeah. And like Gary Thomas says, God doesn't give you a spouse to make you happy. He gives you a spouse to make you holy, because there's nothing that makes you deal with the trash of your own heart like being married to someone else. Yep.
Those are powerful words right there.
Yeah, sacred marriage. If you, a person out there, even if you're not a Christian, pick up that book. It's the greatest, in my view, greatest book on marriage ever written.
And what's it called?
Sacred Marriage.
Sacred Marriage. Okay.
Yep, Gary Thomas.
Awesome.
Yep.